It was just an awful display of football. It was an awful display of quarterbacking. It was an awful display of head coaching. It was just awful all the way around.
See, I like your tact on this a little bit better. Everyone's lining up to say worst ever, worst offense I've ever seen, worst quarterback I've ever seen. I'm like, I've seen worse. I have. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't stop it from being awful, right? Like, what's crazy about this is there were times where I expected you to be the worst I've ever seen. The fact that anything is in the running at this moment, when that wasn't the expectation and it certainly wasn't the goal, that's what's befuddling today.
It's awful. And I feel like it's who's got interesting takes today or something different today. Like, we'll have some throughout the show, but for the most part, it is everyone's resigned to the idea that Stefanski isn't it. Dillon Gabriel should never play quarterback again in the NFL. Yes, if you're hip to the show, congratulations. We've all been, me and you have been talking about this for how long now?
I believe since the draft.
So, congratulations to us, but, for me, it feels like we're doing old hat because we've had these conversations, but now we watched everyone slowly but surely get on board with the sentiment of exactly what we've been talking about for so long, and it's like, okay, at least we're now at a spot where nobody can defend Stefanski, nobody can defend Dillon Gabriel, and we all just collectively sit in a pile of suck.
Listen, I was asked today, are you going to go next level? Are you going to lose your damn mind? And it's a fair question, and the answer is, I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. You never really know until you're in it.
Yeah, because on one hand, I could go, well, I didn't really think this quarterback plan was going to work out in the first place.
Yeah.
So here we are. On one hand, I can say, well, I thought you were going to be 3 or 4 wins into this season, and that was going to be it. So here we are. On the other hand, it has looked so much worse. What did I always say? What did I say I wanted this year? If you got to be 4-13,
you want it competitive.
I want it to be competitive. And now 4 of the 8 games, you've gotten blown out. And here's the thing. I can deal with getting blown out. When we thought the Ravens were going to be on a championship track, that is since diverted, by the way. It's been diverted to other pastures, right? I could deal with getting blown out by Detroit. And what a juggernaut of a team that is. I mean this in no disrespect. Patriots are a good team. They're not a great team. And they might as well have been the 1985 Chicago Bears with the way they waxed your ass. That's different than what anybody signed up for, including the chuckleheads in Berea.
Drake May is better than Jim McMahon. I said it there.
Okay. All right. You're going to have to live with that take.
Yeah. Here's what does make me mad, though, as everyone has now resigned themselves to the idea that Dillon Gabriel does, in fact, suck. When we were at training camp, and we remember that Bernie Kosar interview we did, where I just kept looking up, and balls just kept hitting the ground. I was getting distracted talking to a legend right next to me, because I watched him not complete any passes and consistently suck. And you know what makes me mad is they tried brainwashing us into being, and telling us that our eyes were deceiving us, and they're seeing something that we just possibly can't be seeing, and it's just not true. When you stink in training camp, you got real problems on your hand, and the fact that they tried, in many ways, they tried telling us that what we were seeing wasn't accurate, it wasn't right, and they tried telling us that Shador wasn't anywhere close to Dillon Gabriel. My ass. There's no way that Shador was nowhere close to Dillon Gabriel, but they just believed it in their heart of hearts, and they were just so wrong.
That's what's so frustrating, is you can be wrong. You can. All right, we've watched bad football before. I'm going to assume we're going to watch bad football again. I'm going to say...
We've got a lot of it ahead of us, Nick.
I'm going to say...
It's going to be a season of a lot of it.
I'm going to watch more. But to be so defiantly and arrogant about the way you do things, as if you are... And I hate to do this because I'm certainly pigeonholing them a little bit as Ivy Leaguers, but the why are you asking us these question mentality on drafting a sawed-off quarterback who, guys, he throws 72 miles an hour... And he has to do that because that's the only way it's getting 15 yards.
We talk quarterback for 4 months straight. How many times did Dillon Gabriel get brought up in any sort of drafting discussions at all? If it was brought up in the slightest bit, it was by somebody that was really, really into it, telling us that he's a 6th or 7th rounder. Nobody believed he was a 3rd round pick.
Even they started to shape their narrative as, well, we think he's a career backup. That's not what you do with 3rd round picks.
Especially when you have a lot of holes in the team.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, for everything about yesterday that really upset me, right? For being embarrassed again to be a Browns fan, for a team that was in it and then Vrabel and his guys figured something out and the Browns couldn't figure anything out to counter that. I understand some of what happened yesterday. But to watch the team get waxed, to watch Dillon Gabriel not just now leave plays in the field, but also give points away to the other team. It was bad enough. Oh, the safety. Thank you for reminding me. The safety. The supercomputer apparently didn't think to, hey, I'm here. I can't just go ahead and intentional ground in the freaking end zone.
The look on his face when that ball hit the ground.
By the way,
stuff a legend.
If supercomputers ran like Dillon Gabriel, we'd have no fear of AI taking over.
That's right. That's a good point.
We'd be like, this AI is the most defeatable thing in the world.
We'd be like, AI couldn't even get our lunch right if that was the supercomputer.
Just throw a 5-man rush at it, and it's going to melt down every single time.
I think that's what happened. The supercomputer, it melted down in that moment, and his brain just stopped working.
Yes.
And he made what might be one of the dumbest football plays I've ever seen.
He had to reboot, and it just didn't reboot in enough time.
Yeah,
but
we've all been there.
All of that was bad enough, usually when I'm drinking. All of that was bad enough. But then, for Kevin Stefanski, the first thing he said was, everything's on the table. Until he then went to talk about Dillon Gabriel and Dillon's role going forward.
I just want to make the point that we just have to be better in every area, and we'll look at everything we do, including how we're putting these guys in position to succeed. Are we doing enough? When I say looking at every position, are we doing enough with the quarterback position? Do we need to do a better job? And I know the answer is yes.
All right. So he says that, and then he was asked if Dillon Gabriel was the starter.
When I say look at everything, there's just, when you lose like this, you have to look at everything, every position, everything I'm doing. There's just, it's frustrating for where we are as a team. So every position you have to look at. But let me say that with a young quarterback, you understand that there's going to be ups and downs.
All right. Then he went on to say Dillon's the starter.
Yeah, it was so when I was listening to it yesterday, I thought, because you heard that first little bit to begin with, and you're thinking to yourself, Oh, he's going to do it. Yeah. He's going to make the change. Like, all right, that was as bad as I saw it. He saw it that way too. His eyes have been they're clear. He's seeing everything crystallized. Like, okay, and then he just went down and backtracked all of it.
So here's the problem with that. You can't come out and say, we have to look at everything. And then, moments after, your handpicked quarterback, the guy that you like, right, the guy that clearly you have an affection for or a belief in that you don't have in the other guy, you cannot, after he just bleeped the bed, you cannot say he's safe. You cannot, the two things contradict themselves. You cannot say, we have to look at everything, and Dillon's our quarterback. No, if you're looking at everything, you're looking starting with the quarterback. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, JP.
Yeah.
Kevin went into business for himself yesterday. What he did with that was he made it harder for the Browns to move away from Dillon Gabriel. That was a calculated move by Kevin Stefanski, who's incredibly smart, who understands exactly what he's doing. By saying, Dillon's our starter. After saying, we look at everything, this allows him to say, so now if the Browns do go to Shador this week, or next week, then the question is, well, what happened?
Well,
that opens up a can of worms that make Kevin Stefanski look bad, and Kevin Stefanski look good, and the Browns look bad.
Well, I don't know that Stefanski looks good in the end result of that, but ultimately it'll make it seem like the move came from Haslam and not from Stefanski himself.
Yes.
Which at this point, I can't believe I'm saying it, but if that was how this goes down, Haslam might be the smartest person in the room.
I don't know.
I've never said that in my life, but how do you possibly continue to throw Dillon Gabriel out there? Like, is Stefanski's brain cooked?
No, this is what it is. Kevin Stefanski would rather lose his way than win a different way.
Because it's dumb.
He'd rather lose with his quarterback than win with another quarterback.
But it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and there's a lot of ego attached to that, and there's a lot of pride attached to that he just needs to relinquish and let go, because at this point, Shador is the only saving grace he has. Dillon Gabriel stinks. That's his guy, and he stinks. Guess what? Stefanski, you're not Kyle Shanahan, okay? You're not winning with Garoppolo. You're not winning with Trey Lance. You're not winning with Brock Purdy. You're not winning with anyone you throw out there. You're not turning anyone into something, okay?
You're not winning.
You're not winning. You can't do this the way that other quarterback gurus can. It's not in your DNA. It's not who you are. You stink at this. You need a quarterback that is much better than what you can coach, and you need a quarterback that can put you on their shoulders and take you with you, and that's not Dillon Gabriel.
Kevin fired the opening salvo because he knew at that moment, the first thing he says is, we have to look at everything. And then he knew that this is going to be one of the big talking points in the organization. And Kevin has habitually acquiesced to many decisions. That much is fair. But this was him saying, we're looking at everything, but Dillon's the starter. That this was a negotiating ploy tactic in public. And if that doesn't tell you how bad things are about to get in Berea, I can't draw it out any more clear. This goes all the way back to Joe Flacco getting traded and Kevin Stefanski trying very hard not to say this was an Andrew Berry decision and this was all on Andrew and that, yep, I wouldn't have done it. He tried very hard. This is a guy that I think is now understanding if he wants things his way, which he shouldn't. He should just want to win.
He should just want to win.
You should just want to win.
It's a bad hill to die on. Like, get yourself a proper burial, Kevin. My goodness.
But I think he's dying on this hill because he didn't die on the 17 other hills like the Deshaun stuff, like the Baker stuff, wherever he sat on that stuff, because he has been a patsy. And I think Kevin has finally resigned himself. If I'm going down with my ship. I'm going down on my accord, not yours. And by the way, just to agree with you, it's the dumbest damn hill to die on.
Doesn't make sense.
It just feels like it really feels like a completely unnecessary thing because in the end, you're not winning versus Andrew Berry. You're not winning versus Haslam. You're screwing over the locker room, which probably loses you the locker room quicker than anything else.
It doesn't make sense. If he's going to continue to go down this road, somebody has to wake him up. Somebody's got to get his attention here because you're not winning with Dillon Gabriel. That much is clear.
Not only that, you're getting blown out.
You got no plans in the future of winning with Dillon Gabriel is more like it. There's nothing on the horizon there.
I don't know how. Listen, this is recency bias because the Jets just win. You think that you can go ahead and actually say you have the quarterback advantage, Dillon Gabriel versus Justin Fields. And here's the thing, guys. This isn't even about Shador for me. It's just watch the kid. He is Timu Tua. He cannot throw. Watch him throw something. It's so funny because the MPH thing came up. Oh, well, he throws really fast. And then watch him throw beyond 15 yards.
And that ball to Isaiah Bond still might be trying to get to Isaiah Bond.
And by the way, I think I just caught the damn ball. That's how long it was sailing. This is clearly devolving into a mess. And this is what upsets me about it, is it didn't have to look like this. I felt they were going to be 2-6 at this point, and I honestly, if you had told me 2-6 through the first 8 weeks, I might have said, "Oh, that actually sounds relatively rosy for the plan that they're cooking together." But you have a non-functional offense 8 weeks into the season. Mm-hmm. That is incalculably bad.
Yeah, I know, it's broke, and this is why I'm worried that Stefanski... I don't even know that Stefanski's idea of an offense even makes sense at this point, and I don't know how you would sell this to anybody else for even future jobs. He's killing his... I don't know if he understands this or not. By staying with Dillon Gabriel, he is killing any chances he has of having a reputation after this is all done.
216-474-0092. Why did Kevin Stefanski say Dillon was safe? The only thing I can think was he went into business with himself. He staked his claim with Dillon, making it harder for the Browns to go elsewhere at quarterback because he doesn't want to play that card. For whatever reason, he doesn't want to play that card. Daryl Ryder comes up at 3:20 with us. He's going to say, I told you so about Dillon Gabriel, even though 90% of Cleveland told you so about Dillon Gabriel. Quick hits coming up at 3:40. We've got Nathan Zagura, Browns analyst. We'll talk to him about Myles Garrett's gigantic day, which you want to talk about the cherry on top of the crap Sunday for Browns fans, watching an all-time dominant Myles Garrett performance in a game you got waxed by 3 scores. Let's give it up for Thought Partners. You guys really figured it the hell out. I mean, you have a singularly great defensive player give you a singularly great defensive performance, and you lost by 3 scores. I am indebted to your intelligence. Just tell me where to sign my name away for that swampland in Florida. You absolute geniuses.